When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos, updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. Now before we begin, I did mention this on the community tab, that I'm going to revert the case system that connects all the islands in this version of Japan, called the Demon's Mouth. So I don't keep saying the case system. Saying that over and over again is going to be quite tedious, and this is the third part. Technically it would be 4 if you count part 0, but that's not really here or there. That's all I want to say, at least on that matter. In the future, if I have names or something I need to display on my community tab about this fanfiction, I'll definitely be posting there first before I implement anything in the story. Anyways, let's get back into this. This is Fallout: The Rising Sun, Part 3. Let's continue where we last left off in our story. The members of the Rosefield family and the White Tigers begin to get ready to engage the White Crawlers. Two of the White Tigers kicked over 2 tables on the side, then immediately take cover behind the table, then open fire upon the crawlers. No matter how many crawlers they kill, Yang and Ren noticed their numbers was only increasing. It's only a matter of time before they're overwhelmed and slaughtered. So Yang ordered his White Tigers to begin the process of retreating, as Ren chopped the door down in half. It's one clean cut as the door falls into 2 pieces, granting them a exit strategy. The 2 pieces of the door fell outside of the cabin. Ren grabbed her son as they begin to withdraw from the cabin, only to be met with more White Crawlers outside, waiting for them to arrive, like they knew they would be here. Ren narrowed her eyes. She could tell by the evidence that she saw these monsters are highly intelligent. The fact that they set up an ambush is evidence enough of their intelligence. Before the rest of the crawlers inside the cabin could join the other crawlers outside, Yang tossed a plasma grenade into the cabin as there was a bright flash of green. The light receded. There was nothing but piles of green goo to be seen, except for a singular crawler managed to survive. It was the Pacific crawler that was conversing with the humans through their minds. Seeing the monster's survival, Yang suspects the one that was talking to them is most likely the leader. These creatures are unknown, so he doesn't know if these monsters have some sort of alpha or not. But with all the White Crawlers seem to be listening to That one specifically? Don't you see, humans? All this resistance is pointless. We're going to feast upon your flesh tonight, and none of you will survive. There's not a goddamn thing you can do about it. But please, do resist. After all, it will make the hunt far more satisfying. Run, little humans, run. Rin and Yang and the rest of the group begin to withdraw into the forest, trying to cut some distance between themselves and the white crawlers. As a younger crawler spoke up, "Can we kill them now?" "No. We shall give them more time. It will make the hunt far more interesting. That way, their flesh is far more delectable. If we have to work for it. You are too young. You haven't experienced the thrill of a hunt. We wait 2 minutes." As 2 minutes later, the lead crawler gave his command to begin the hunt. With a single hand motion, as all of the crawlers begin to run into the forest on all fours. Shortly afterwards, the alpha crawler follow right behind them. We got some good distance from them, but I don't think that's gonna last. We need to find a way off this island, and we need to do it now. We're not that far away from that abandoned raider encampment. We attacked. Rin just gave her brother a nod in acknowledgement. There was no reason to speak upon their situation. She's fully aware what type of danger they're in. They're clearly being hunted on purpose by these unknown creatures that they don't know jack shit about. She knows they're highly intelligent, most likely fast, and most likely have a higher degree of strength. She has no solid proof on this. It's just a hunch she has. To Rin's relief, her son Victor doesn't seem to be bothered one bit by their situation. He was always an odd child. Her son was always much like herself when she was around his age. They just perceive the world differently. She never once acted like a child when she was younger, and apparently her son has inherited that trait. He's always been an intelligent and well-behaved kid, with a serious mindset, and only talk when he's spoken to. It didn't take them long to get into an abandoned raider encampment that they built around the dock on this side of the island. Alright everyone, fan out and find any boats that we can use to get off this island. After 30 minutes of Yang waiting, they finally came back. "Sir, we looked around. There's no sign of any raider boats. Take a short break, men. Stay close. We're moving out once my sister gets here." It didn't take Rin very long to return from her search to find any boats that is in good condition to be used. I found nothing so far. What about you? Same here. There hasn't been any sign of any boats. Only thing I could think of is the raiders most likely got on the island a different area, or a method I'm not aware of. We're currently in one of the smallest harbors on this island. There's a bigger one. But there's a reason why we have avoided it. It is quite dangerous. Between the feral ghouls that most likely will come across on our way there, but the harbor itself is infested with various of different types of predators. When we were traveling to the main island to this island, we even saw a Deathclaw on the harbor. Deathclaw? How is that even possible? We don't get Deathclaws. We've only heard rumors about them from people who visit the Mojave, I believe what it was called. America, at least what's left of their country. Regardless if the rumors were true or not. There has been cases a few years ago, but reports of heavy presence of Deathclaws on the main island. That's the problem when you have access to boats. My guess, a few Deathclaw eggs found itself on one of these boats that's able to travel between countries. As you know, we've came across some people calling themselves the Caravan or some weird name like that came from the States. Someone clearly has access to a boat to travel from long distances. Sure, we have boats to travel between islands, but we don't have that type of craft to take long voyages like that. It wouldn't be possible for us with our current access to technology. As much as I despise the Red Lions, they have access to more superior technology than us. Regardless, we should be able to find something there to use to get off the island or repair any functional boat we could find. We can't really stray here too long. Those white monsters are most likely still after us. And daybreak is not going to come anytime soon. For at least the next 4 to 5 hours, at least. We need to get moving. Yang led the group away from the raider encampment and make their way towards the only working harbor on the other side of the island, near a working civilized city or settlement. The only settlement on this island is almost like a city. Let's just say it's a middle-sized settlement that's nearby the harbor. More like a community. We should be able to get supplies. Supply we need at the city. But that determines on if we have the correct number of caps. Much like the wasteland in the United States, their economy is bottle caps by one of the many Japanese versions of Nuka-Cola. Nuka-Cola Corporation had a side branch in Japan, pre-war, that made different variations of the Nuka-Cola. Their most popular item that they released in Japan was a glowing green Nuka-Cola bottle, rebranded as Dragon Blood Cola, and several other variants of different color and flavor. I'll pause. Now, is it really important to the story? No, not really. But it's something thought it would be more realistic that they would have their own version of the Nuka-Cola, but rebranded for Japan. Because before the war or pre-war, they had close connections, so it makes sense. As same thing with Voltec, they had their own version of it. And anyways, let's continue on with our story. Bing and his group continue onwards. Bing and Ran and Victor took the middle, as the White Tigers took the front and back. As they begin to travel to one of the settlements to get information, but it is a long road ahead. There should be a gas station nearby. We'll head in that direction to get some rest. When we get all rested up, we'll continue forward. It should be day soon. When they finally got to the gas station, he ordered his men to scout the gas station. Luckily for the White Tigers, there was no surprises. Only thing around the gas station are dog-sized jackrabbits that get big as a deathclaw as they grow. The younger ones are much more docile, but the adults, rad jackrabbits, can be quite devastating and vicious. I think we're good. I want you guys to board up the doors to the gas station and keep the garage closed. After they made sure a thorough check through the building and begin to board it up. It's whatever they could find. After everything was done, the small group can finally relax for a bit. Only place they haven't really investigated. Upper floors of this building. The crawlers are still trying to hunt them down, but they got their scent mixed with a bunch of others, with the raiders. By doing so, they managed to shake the white crawlers. That's the only reason why they even escape their tracking. I gotta say, brother, this has been quite an interesting experience. I can't argue with their sister. This was supposed to be a simple job. Kill some red lions, come back, get you, leave. But apparently, Lady Luck has other ideas in mind. How are you handling this, sport? Aside of running for my life and being attacked by huge bugs that can shoot electricity, and some sort of white monster that apparently enjoys terrorizing their prey, it's been peachy. Yeah, you're definitely my nephew. I've never been to this settlement before. I know of its existence by the reports when I was still in the vault. How far is it from here? This island's not the biggest, but it's still a good size. It's on the other side of the island. We're going to have to go through the mine shaft to get on the other side of the large mountain in the middle of the island. We could have gone to the town using the pathway near the vault, but that's no longer possible, considering the whole area is heavy radiated by your vault exploding a small nuke. So we're going to have to go through the mine to travel right through the mountain instead of going around. We don't have that kind of supplies for a travel like that to go around a long mountain. It might be faster, but it's the most dangerous route we can take. That fight we had with those white monsters and the raiders have cut our ammo supply in half. We don't have much ammunition left. We have our melee weapons, but that's pretty much about it. And I prefer not to run out of ammunition while we're on this island. We're clearly not safe. I guess we don't have much of a choice. You're right, we don't have the supplies for a long voyage. Going around the mountain would take too long and we would run out of supplies before we finish our journey. Take it we don't have a lot of caps for currency at the moment. I have about 2,000 caps. Not enough to get the correct amount of gear, food, water, ammunition to take a long voyage around the mountain. Once we get to the large settlement, I'll buy what supplies we need with the caps we have. Medical supplies, water, rations of any kind that they have in stock, and ammunition, just in case. That sounds like a solid plan, brother. You almost sound like you know what you're doing. Funny, sister. I didn't know you were a comedian. I like to continue what we were discussing of how these death claws appeared. Alright, I didn't mention that in the past couple years there's been death claw sightings. The odd thing is they've been traveling through settlements. And these deathclaw eggs are being placed inside the cities. My scout told me that deathclaw eggs has been placed inside settlements all around Japan. Either inside a living, normal settlement or near it. And deathclaws are not too dangerous when they're that size. But they don't stay that size for very long. They grow quite fast. And as you know, or you might not know, sister, they're quite violent when they get a certain age. Because of the knowledge of deathclaws, most of the cities that's been implanted with a deathclaw egg did not survive, almost wiping out entire settlements. But with all the different factions on the mainland, they managed to contain them well enough, though. I don't think. Yes. There's either a new player or a already existing faction is responsible. That's on the mainland. I wouldn't put it past the Red Lions to do something like that. Of course, there's no solid proof. Just have my suspicions. Speaking of factions, how did that meeting go with those armor-looking men and women? I believe they call themselves the Brotherhood of Steel. It didn't go very well. They basically demand all the pre-tech technology and the whereabouts of all the vaults. Of course, I declined, and they weren't very pleased. Naturally, a firefight broke out. We managed to get out of there mostly intact. Couldn't say the same about the Brotherhood, but I highly doubt they brought their entire number to that meeting. I still don't understand why they're even here. What do we know about this Brotherhood. Not much outside of they have methods to travel between here and the Mojave, or the Capital Wasteland, whatever, in the United States. We have no idea if there's more out there, or if this is just a bunch of give me a second, guys. If this is a separate branch from the Brotherhood that broke off, we really don't have any further intel on these people. They're structured, what I've seen, as a military force. Been staying away from them as much as I can. Great. Now we have a faction of technology zealots. Just lovely. Victor decided to take a look around the place. He's never been inside a gas station before, so he wants to check out a small building. His mother was way too busy talking with his uncle to notice he's wandering around the building. The gas station only has 2 floors, the bottom floor, where they're staying in, like a lobby area. But the second floor is still a mystery. He made sure to bring his short katana with him, just in case. He learned real fast since he's been on the surface. You should always carry some sort of weapon on you at all times, even if it seems safe, and when you lower your guard. That's when hungry predators or raiders pounce on you when the moment you lower your guard. His mother made sure that he understands that part of life is not fair. You need to do anything in your power to survive, no matter how evil or underhanded the method is. And he took that lesson to heart. He went to the back rooms of the gas station building on the first level. The first room he went into seems like an office area. There's a barely functioning computer on the desk. Well, on the desk. As the desk is situated in front of the back wall of the room, the 2 opposite walls on the side of the desk have a couple of file cabinets and a dragon blood cola machine to the side. What do we got here? The moment he started to look through the computer, he found something that would be interesting. I believe this is something kids my age would call a video game. He popped the holotape out of the video game in his pocket and left the room. He wants to check it out, but it's not appropriate to do so at this time, and he doesn't have the right equipment. That computer won't last very long. So he decided he wanted to take the holotape for later use. Eventually, Victor found the set of stairs leading to the second level. There wasn't a whole lot of stairs for him to climb up to, so he got to the second story quite quickly. All he had to do was pick a lock. The door blocked his path, so naturally, he begins to pick the lock. It's one of the skills he had to learn in the vault. He's no master at it, but he's no beginner either. It didn't take him long to unlock the door, as there was a slight click noise as he put his lockpick tools back into his pocket and proceeded to open the door slowly. The first thing he saw was a hallway. With doors on the side of the hallway wall. As the hallway does split off to the far right. But Victor wants to check out these rooms first. He opened the door of the room and entered the room. Victor gazed at the room. As he steps in, Victor found the room to be quite large. The room was pretty barren, a bed, a couple of dressers. But what really caught his interest was the walls and ceiling was covered in webbing like a spider. And there's a huge hole in the wall leading to the next room, which the hall is in around the edges in spider web, like someone made his nest inside. Victor noticed half of the room is filled with this sticky webbing. Suddenly, Victor was yanked backwards by his shoulder. Yang placed his finger on his own lips to gesture Victor to be quiet, and whispered, telling him to back off slowly. Yang closed the door quietly. Let's get back downstairs. That was close. What do you mean, Uncle? You almost walked into a very nasty spider. The whole top floor is filled with those things. I took a look on the second story floor throughout the entire hallway, filled with those bastards. It's a good thing I caught you before it was too late. Your mother would kill me if you got eaten by a spider. We'll keep this little incident a secret. No reason to stress your mother out, and most likely cause my death. Come on, sport. Victor gave the door one last look as he looked behind him and followed his uncle downstairs. Victor decided to get some much needed rest. So did the rest of the group, outside of the occasional 2 white tigers being the lookout. They would shift between people, so everyone will get their time to rest. The next morning, the group left the gas station and continued on their way. Take this, sport. I think this would be quite useful. There's many dangerous wildlife that the vault most likely didn't cover. Victor thanks his uncle for the book, filled with different type of hostile wildlife. It's what you call a monster manual. Alright people, we need to pick up the pace. I would like to get to the ruined hotel before nightfall. And from there's only a couple hour travel to the mine shaft that will run through the mountain. Safety off, boys. From here on out, we're definitely going to be in hostile territory. After traveling the vast wildness of the island, the closer they got to the hotel, the more heavy presence of ghouls appeared. Yang uses hand signs to order his men to take out the 2 ghouls in front of them, using only melee weapons. The 2 white tigers plunged their knives into the skull of the feral ghouls, then gently lowered them to the ground and continued forward. I have a sinking feeling things are getting a lot more complicated from here on out. My guess, there's a heavy presence of feral ghouls. Here of all places most likely means the hotel is most likely infested with them. Knowing you most likely are going to have us clear this hotel out. You always have a knack for attracting trouble, brother. It's a gift. More like a curse. Stay close, son. Don't leave my sight. Victor nodded in acknowledgement. Understood, Mother, in his normal, monototed voice. The small group continued on their way, killing any feral ghouls that came across their paths. Last thing it needed is for one of the feral ghouls to shriek loud enough to draw more of their kind. Yang and Rin don't know how many feral ghouls are in the area or on this island itself. And the only way there's this many feral ghouls on this island is they're using the demon's mouth to travel through the different islands, using a vast cave system to navigate would be impossible for any human. He's not an idiot. The demon's mouth is a glorified death trap. That's why he never used the demon's mouth. He has no plan to do so. He's not that crazy. And he have a sinking feeling these white monsters most likely came from the demon's mouth. But Yang was a bit relieved that they haven't catched up yet. Or just lost interest. He doesn't really know, but he doesn't really care at the moment. As a hotel finally came into view, the entire hotel has has 3 large buildings. The two, as you got the main building, that's several stories high at the hotel, then you have the singular buildings where the hotel rooms are at, all around the hotel. Only the main building of the hotel has 3 stories. And surrounding the entire hotel was a large bamboo wall, scales the entire boundaries of the hotel. Bamboo has always been a common resource on all the islands. Despite the harsh landscape, bamboo has never had any trouble growing. So naturally, bamboo is used in many different methods, from building material to other mundane means, like making a bamboo cup or something like that. Yang motioned his men to start targeting all of the feral ghouls outside of the bamboo wall of the hotel, restricting them to only using their melee weapons. Once all the ghouls outside are taken care of, they were about to go inside the boundaries of the hotel. Once they got inside the walls of the bamboo protecting the hotel, Yang and Ren noticed dead pieces of feral ghouls scattered all over the hotel grounds, instantly putting Yang and Ren on edge. Whatever did this to these feral ghouls is probably still here, and they don't wish to come across it. Ren slowly and surely approached one of the feral ghouls, still intact, but still much dead. What did he find, sister? Nothing good. This one looks different. As she cut open the chest of the feral ghoul by using her sword, as the chest begins to open up to reveal hundreds of see-through egg sacs. Oh crap. Do you recognize these egg sacs? No. All I can tell you is these eggs belong to one of the many breeds of butterflies. In other words, man-eaters. Correct, depending on the breed. And depending on what type of danger we're in. Well, it'll all depend on what type of danger we're in. Let's just bunker down in one of the rooms there. bunker down for the day and night. Basically bunker down for one day. Then we'll head out as soon as possible. It's starting to get dark, and we don't want to be out here when it gets dark. I have no doubt whatever type of butterfly that laid those eggs inside that Pharaoh Gould body is most likely not very far. Agreed. Depending on the species, determine what type of danger we should be expecting. Sir, should we burn the bodies? No, that would only piss off the mother. Let's head into one of the hotel rooms. To go into one of the closest hotel rooms next to the exit. After making sure nothing was inside their rooms, they boarded up the windows and rooms, what they could find. The room itself was pretty big. Yang, Rin were looking out the window from their viewpoint. They saw the sky was blanketed by a black smudge, like a black blanket, blocking out the sky. As slowly the black blanket got closer and turned into a group of black butterflies, about the size of a full-grown human, adult size, fly into the air and dive into the main building of the hotel. There was about, for too many to count, all Yang and Rin know there was hundreds of them. For the first time she's been on the surface, she was shocked, as it was extremely displayed on her face. So many death butterflies. My God. It looked like there's hundreds of them. A building of that size and height shouldn't be able to contain hundreds of death butterflies. You know as much as I do. Death butterflies get a whole lot bigger. Agreed. Death butterflies can get as big as a behemoth super mutant. That is why they're never allowed to get to full growth. They're normally hunted down before they could get that big. If they have a nest near any of the cities or settlements, they must be migrating. They might be man-eating, acid-spitting butterflies, but they're still butterflies. They still act accordingly. You don't think? I'll be back. Where are you going, brother? I need to check something out. Don't do anything crazy, brother. I don't plan to. I think I know how the death butterfly has been traveling around unnoticed, but I need to be certain. Yang left the hotel room and shut the door behind him as he slowly approached the main hotel building and went through the front door. He instantly saw a variation of different sizes of death butterflies in the main lobby. After sneaking around the death butterflies to make sure he's not noticed, he eventually found the basement to the hotel. He entered the basement, walking down the long stairs until he got to the bottom. He noticed there's a large hole in the middle of the ground. He couldn't see the bottom of it, but he could see the faint glows of the crystal that's been known to grow into the demon's mouth. But exactly what type of case he's seeing. The glowing red crystals is evidence enough. It's the demon mouth. A bright glow. But those red crystals are the only reason why there's even any light in the demon's mouth. Yang was about to return back to the room until he felt a barrel of a laser weapon in his back. What do we have here, White Tiger? Doing a little expedition, are we? Wasn't expecting one of you brotherhoods to be here of all places. Please, don't think we didn't notice your activities coming to this island. But I wonder why. But it matters not. Your little friends are being grouped up as we speak. You should have accepted our generous offer. Yang. Offer wasn't anything generous. Semantics, savage. We gave you a way out. All you had to do, O mighty leader of the White Tigers, is to fall in line and give us what we want. Yen chuckled. Not happening, lady. So defiant, it would be a whole lot easier if you just give me the locations to the vaults from Dragon Tech and convince them to give us their dragon hearts. Version of the gecko. If I had that type of information, but I don't, I wouldn't even give it to you if I did. In other words, not going to happen. While she has her laser rifle pressed against his back, she leaned closer to his ear. We'll see about that. And that's where we're going to stop it. Hope you guys have a good 9-day Judged by Time Stones, and I'll catch you in the next video.